Hi, hello, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, as we once again welcome you to tonight's broadcast of Jersey Pro League Hockey, live exclusively on Breakout Sports Broadcasting, live from the RWJ Barnabas Health Hockey House in Newark, New Jersey. My name is Trey Wright for BSB. The final night of week number 1 for the JPL Club Division features just a single game late this evening as Breakout Sports Broadcasting takes on the Hockey House podcast. Warm-ups concluding here in just a couple of moments as we take you into tonight's preview for both teams, starting, of course, with our home team of Breakout Sports Broadcasting. Not a whole lot of guys taking warm-ups here for BSB, shorthanded just a little bit, but they've got a lot of talent on this program, and they unfortunately lost 7-2 to Mr. Lemon Stick Wax Tuesday evening in the season opener for the Jersey Pro League. Got a couple of new faces here subbing in, the most notable being Mac Alvino, the Glen Rock, New Jersey native, will slot in between the pipes here for BSB here this evening. And on the other side of the ice, same thing for the Hockey House podcast, who's got a couple of subs on the team for those guys as well. Eric Coys, Brandon Young, and Brandon Caccaro. Caccaro will be taking the ice here. We'll get to the numbers here shortly, but both these teams 0-1 to start the 2025 season, with BSB losing to Mr. Lemon Stick Wax and the Hockey House podcast losing to Synergy. Both those teams played Tuesday evening, trying to get to 500 here on the season. Hockey House podcast, got a lot of boys from the ACEHA D1 and AAU D1 schools, as well as singular NCAA Division III player and Eric Heggie. He's wearing the number 93 this evening. For Breakout Sports Broadcasting, a couple of familiar faces here. If you have watched a lot of our streams over on the Rider University side of things, Shane Gunn and Justin Rauch representing the Bronx of Rider University. Some other notable names here from years past. Trey Walker wearing 23 for the Manalapan, New Jersey native. Michael Atrondo, Steve Kappas, Colin McNulty, and Gavin Edmonds, and a lot of players here on both sides of the puck. BSB, ditching the white and blue uniforms from last season, will now go to a little bit of a reverse retro look from the Edmonton Oilers, donning the neon orange and blue. Actually looking like the uniforms from the Islanders Hockey Club over in the United States Premier Hockey League for the USPHL. Hockey House podcast, getting a little bit of a New York Rangers look. Which is ironic since we do play in the RWJ Barnabas Health Hockey House, the practice rink for the New Jersey Devils, so well, a bit ironic that the blue and red from the Broadway Bullies over on the other side of the Hudson River will be the road team here for this first game this evening, this only game, I should say. Couple notable names on the other side for the Hockey House podcast: Matt Dorada, Andreas Foren, Joseph Giolanza, Brian Kramer, Luca Filicamo, Gavin Aikini, Eric Heggie, like we said, Gio Russo. A lot of William Patterson boys on this HHP team as well, as we set to go here for game number 1 of the night, the only game here in the nightcap. Glad you could have everybody tuning in to a little bit of a late one, starting at about 9:05, 9:06 local time here in Newark, New Jersey. Short bench for both teams, but nonetheless, we're going to get things rocking and rolling here in a little bit of a nightcap, so put on the coffee. Take whatever you need to take to stay awake here. I know that us and the BSB crew trying to stay awake ourselves as well. I know Colton Reynolds, our technical director, doing his best to keep the eyes open. He's got to be up at 4:30 in the morning for his work shift. Should definitely have them sponsor us at some point.
I don't know if that'll ever happen, but we'll see. Massive corporation that shall not be named.
Looks like it'll be Michael Otrondo, who will be one of the BSB skaters to start on here for the 5-on-5 Jersey Pro League Club Division here in the JPL. Looks like Shane Gutt will also start in a little bit as well. But taking a look at the goaltending matchup, it'll be Mac Alvino, who played for the Seacoast Spartans of the Eastern Hockey League. See who will be in the net for the Hockey House podcast all the way over on the other side. It doesn't look like they have a goaltender just yet. I think that's what I believe we're waiting on here, and why we're in a little bit of a holding pattern, as HHP doesn't have a goaltender just yet. I think we may be starting on things here, and now we'll have the substitute come onto the ice. We'll get a name for said goaltender once we get that information up in here, but nonetheless, the nightcap between Hockey House Podcast and Breakout Sports Broadcasting underway here, and it starts with a win for Hockey House Podcast. Nearly taken away there by Michael Otrondo, and he dishes it back all the way over to the 27 of Alex Francone. Frascone will chase it into the opposite corner with Eric Heggie right behind him. Heggie was looking for the poke check. Frascone will dump it in the opposite corner where Shane Gutt will send it back over the stick of Otrondo. And chasing after that will be Otrondo in the opposite corner. Otrondo with a wire range there is blocked aside by the HHP goaltender. Otrondo at the point once again. Jumps it back all the way over to Frascone. Sends it into the corner once more. Back up to Frascone at the point. Breakout Sports Broadcasting looking to get the game's early goal, and that offering from Gutt just went to the wide side of the cage. Trying to steer it out of harm's way was the 47 of Andreas Forehand. One of the stalwarts from last season, played for Synergy Uniforms all the way back in 2024, now playing for the Hockey House Podcast. Mac Alvina will make his first save of the young evening. Back all the way over there and ripping it wide of the cage was Eric Heggie, the King's College commit. Trying to get things going offensively. A little bit of contact right at center ice as Brian Kramer tries to wheel and deal. This one up to the 60 of Eric Coy. Coy, the product of the Montclair State University Redhawks. Trying to get this one into the zone. Trey Walker will take it down the near side. He'll spin all the way up, gets it past the 23 of Brandon Cacrano, and looking for it on the doorstep was Justin Rauch, turned aside. Back and forth we go down both sides of the sheet of ice here as Brian Kramer was trying to get that to a blue-clad teammate. Comes to the 21 of Brandon Young. The Valley Junior Warriors product turns it over in the neutral zone. Spinning back forward is Ricky Lipsy. Lipsy with a little bit of a shot onto the netminder, patted aside, trying to get that one out of the zone is Young. Back the other way it goes. Joseph Giolanza. Rather, that's Dan Foley trying to put one on the other way for Kramer, and it just goes off of his skate. We continue to go back and forth here. No whistles in this game just yet. Looking to go short side and a wraparound chance. Oh, what a save there by the goaltender. Keeps this game tied at 0-0. 2-on-1, back the other direction, and just going off the stick there was Giovanni Russo. Couldn't get a shot onto Alvino. 2:17 to go here in period number one. Still no official shots on goal just yet. We believe we've got about 2 or 3 so far. Both goaltenders have been tested here. That one's pitched in from neutral territory from the 27 of LaCourte. Trying to take that one away was BSB. They've been having a good amount of offense here as Otrondo takes it at the point. Waits for option, sends it back over. Waiting once again was McNulty in 10. He'll turn it over in the offensive zone. Racing back the other way with it is Heggie, and that's poked aside there by the 16 of Gavin Edmonds. Still with it is 47 of Forehand, who will send that all the way down. And racing after the loose change will be Frascone. Still no whistles here in the early part of this contest, and still it's a 0-0 game. Otrondo barely keeps it in at the blue line, and Gutt with a one-timer from one knee. Got it off of the glove, and he'll collect his own rebound. Gutt lost it in the corner. Frascone will pitch it back in. Sending it through there will be Gavin Edmonds as he traces after it. And that will finally go out of play for the first stoppage here. Just a hair over 4 minutes into the contest. Still 0-0. Really good play from both teams here in the early part of this contest. It'll be Foley and Lipsy Meeting at the faceoff dot. Taking it out of there is McNulty, who wires one onto the Hockey House goaltender, who makes a stop. It'll be another offensive zone draw here for BSB, trying to get on the scoreboard early. His gut right off of the draw was trying to make some use of that play. Instead, it comes back into the corner. McNulty trying to race after it, and Gut will take it right in front of the M&M's logo. Gut up to Otrando. Wide open space for a clap bomb there from Frascone. He just sent that high riser high. Gut with it. Pitches one through traffic. Rebound came right over to Frascone. He's not able to poke it in. Trying to get it out of there was Coys. And nearly a breakaway opportunity there for Dan Foley. And it comes back over to Frascone, who will dump it over to Gut. Gets it back to Otrando here. He skates across the center ice logo, goes up to the Ovechkin office where he runs right into the 21 of Young. Trying to get that one out of there is Kakaro. Steering it back the other way. Mano-a-mano the other way, and that's poked away from the 25 of Kramer. Kramer trying to dig after it. He's able to put some nifty mitts nearly around the entire BSB defense, and steering it back the other direction is Justin Rauch. The two Bronx down the far side of the ice. Rauch right back over to Gut, and he just wasn't able to make the finish. Both of those players, the product of Rider University, who will return here for the 2025-26 season. Kramer was trying to put that one in the back of the 4x6 for him. Will take it away. The Pitt Panther will get on his horse down the near side. Splits past the defense and trying to put one right down where Mama hides the cookies top shelf. Missed a little too high. Russo will give it right back to Foran. He'll go back to work. Down the far side this time, trying to get it around Rauch and was trying to play it over to his HHP teammate. No dice there. Walker spins past Heggie, and he'll take it through the referee's crease before putting it on net with a little bit of deflection. Still no score in period number one as we approach the midway point in the first frame. Heggie trying to get after it. Nearly taken away there from Colin Reese. Taking it back will be Walker. Right in front was waiting for options. Edmonds trying to take after it. This will be sent all the way down. Steve Kappas will take it behind his own cage. Puts it right onto the stick of Justin Rauch, and Rauch will now go eastward with it. Flips it all the way into the breadbasket of the netminder. Trying to flip that one out of there. Heggie down the far side. 2-on-3 here for the Hockey House podcast. Trying to get the first goal in the game. And right in front and shanking on the shot there. Believe that may have been Brandon Ross. Wasn't able to get anything on there. Rather, that was I believe that may have been Luca Filicamo. Edmonds takes it back the other direction. 2-on-3, turns into a 2-on-1, and McNulty denied right point blank. Really good stoppage there from the Hockey House podcast goaltender. And just about 15 seconds away from the midway point in period number one. It's been a rapidly moving period so far. Still scoreless, but plenty of action on either side of the 200 feet of ice. Otrando at the point, trying to steer it around the defense, waits for options, gets it all the way back over. Walker was trying to find Gut alone in the Ovechkin office, and Gut will send one just wide of the cage. Otrando trying to play it back up here. McNulty's got it, sends it back over to the point. Trying to wheel and deal there was Frascone. Lost a little bit of an edge, but able to get the vulcanized rubber back on the tape. Frascone banks it off of the boards, back over to Edmonds. Edmonds behind the cage, waits for options, sends it back up to McNulty, who's just barely able to keep it into the zone. That's gloved down for another whistle here as we are now in the back end of period number one. Still no score. We believe that is Michael Contessa, who is in the goal crease here for the Hockey House podcast. We will get confirmation when we do, but for now we are going to say that is Michael Contessa. Off of the draw, Contessa with yet another save there. Trying to dig after it was Colin Reese, but instead this is kept in by Reese right before it went out of the zone. BSB with a lot of offensive zone pressure here. So immediately as we say that, Young will take it out. Product of the Eastern Hockey League, waits for options. He is brought down, and he'll draw the game's first penalty shot. So Brandon Young will take the first penalty shot here of the evening for this contest. It is a tripping call. Looks like it's going against Ricky Lipsy. And a chance for Ross to try to open the game here on the PS. Mac Alvino trying to take on here Brandon Young. Young in his first ever game here in the Jersey Pro League will start on the outside. Goes in onto Young and he just misses wide. Yet another no goal here on the penalty shot. Teams are now 0 for 4 in the penalty shot, including last night. I believe that now makes it 0 for 5 if I'm not mistaken. I believe there was 2 penalty shots. There's 1 penalty shot in the first game last night and then 3 in the second last night. All 4 of them missed. And now here in game number 5 of the season. Not sure how the first 2 nights went in terms of penalty shots, but the last couple of games have not seen success from either side. Reese streaks down the far side, drops it back all the way over to Frascone. Puts it right on to Contessa. Contessa makes the save. Counterattack the other way from HHP. Sending it up. Here's forehand right on to Alvino. He tries to make the save. It's in. Forehand put it all the way over on the backhand and just tapped it in. Alvino was a little bit out of position. He threw the stick trying to keep the vulcanized rubber out of the 4x6. But nonetheless, it's 1-0 Hockey House podcast early on. Really good play there from Andreas Forehand, the University of Pittsburgh Panther. Coming on here and quickly, Breakout Sports Broadcasting down a little bit in the score sheet. 6 minutes ago in period number 1. Shots are 8-4 in favor of the Hockey House podcast. For the designated road team and trying to tie this game up as Shane Gutt gets around the defense, waits for options, trying to set it back to Walker in the low slot. No avail. Gutt kept it in for a brief moment, now taken back here by Kappas. Kappas up to Frascone. Rather, that was to the 17 of Lipsy, and trying to take that was Justin Rauch, who puts it back over to Gutt, and the 2 Bronx nearly timed this game back up. Sent over back by Giovanni Russo, and Mark Alvino will cover it up here with 5:19 to go in period number 1. Talk about what an opening week it has been here for the Jersey Pro League. 4 games over the last 48 hours, spanning all the way to Tuesday evening. We're able to see who are going to be the hot teams this season, who might stumble a little bit out of the gate. These were the 2 teams that have stumbled just a little bit in that game on Tuesday night. It's a 3-on-1 the other way. Justin Rauch gets it back over to Gutt. Try to get it back over to Rauch. It's loose. It is in. The red light is on, and we're tied at 1. Couldn't tell if it was Gutt that got that final little bit of a piece of it. He will be first in the Selly line, and Shane Gutt will tie the game at 1 apiece. His first goal of the 2025 season here will knot it up at 1. We'll get the particulars here in just one moment. Gutt trying to take it back the other way, and this will be icing as Brandon Young will touch up first. Just under 5 minutes to go here in the opening frame. Shots 6-11 on the score sheet. It was Andreas Forehand that was able to make it a 1-0 game. And looking to get 2 straight goals for BSB was McNulty. Steered away there by Young. Young turned it over to Shane Gutt. We'll get it back over to Edmonds. Edmonds trying to go back right in the low slot. Contessa was on his rear end for a brief moment. Bodies colliding in the corner. And Justin Rauch will take it out into neutral ice and into his own end. Rauch up to Walker. Walker's pickpocketed there by the 18 of Foley. Now Dan Foley with time and space. He's down the far side, looking to go backhand. Went right into Alvino, who went hard into the side iron, and he is shaken up on the play. Alvino was able to get back up to his knees there as he went hard right into the side iron of the 4x6. Foley was trying to crash the cage and was a little too aggressive there for Summer League hockey, and the two combatants will make sure that each other is okay. And doesn't look like there's going to be any sort of penalty on the play for goaltender interference, so it just resulted in an offensive zone draw for the Hockey House podcast, trying to get back up into the lead. The official goal for Breakout Sports Broadcasting will be going to Gavin Edmonds with Gut and Rauch on the primary and secondary assists. So two Bronx will help a Providence Friar put one back into the cage, and what a shot there and save from Mac Alvino. Did the splits to make that stop. .412 to go in period number 1. And a good face-off win in the defensive zone there for BSB, taken back the other direction here by the orange-clad breakout program. Lipsy lost it, kicked back into the zone there by Otrando. Steered back there by Coy. Coy trying to keep it away there from the Penn State Nittany Lion. A little bit of a shot there from Kappas. Goes back into the neutral zone where Colin Reese will get it back all the way over. Reese blew a tire right over the left-hand side of the screen, and that pass a little too hot there for Kappas. Comes back to Coy wearing the blank 60 jersey. Gets it all the way up here. Giovanni Russo trying to fight it in the corner. Not able to keep it in there was Dan Foley, and Foran will stick it back in at the blue line. Foley trying to dig after it in the corner. LaCourte will stick it back over. Gets it up to Colin Reese. Reese over to Brian Kramer. Up to Iacchini. Iacchini back over to Foran. Foran looking to go for his second goal of the night. Just missed to the wide side of the cage. BSB on the counterattack. Here comes Kappas. Kappas waits for options but takes it himself and snaggled up by the glove of Michael Contessa. Steve Kappas, the Staten Island, New York native, playing for the Flint Lumberjacks of the APHL. Trying to snicker one right through the 5-hole there of Michael Contessa to take this lead here for BSB. And this is going to be a very, very tight game. And every goal is going to matter in this contest. 2-on-1 brewing for the Hockey House. Russo was calling for it away there from his William Patterson teammate of Dan Foley. Foley losing it right at the half wall there to Frascone. Those still fighting for it as Otrando tries to dig in along with Russo. Russo was able to go up to Foley. Foley waits for options, turns it over to Shane Gutt. Gutt all the way over to Edmonds. Edmonds down all the way over once again. Looking to go off the cross iron was Jacob DeFerris, and he didn't miss by much. Otrando sticks that one over as DeFerris was trying to go a little bit beneath the crossbar, I should say. But instead planked one right over, and that's the closest BSB has gotten to taking the lead here tonight. Defensive zone turnover right at the doorstep. They score. Gavin Edmonds, goal number 2 of the evening, 2 straight for the Providence Friar. And BSB with their first lead of the night, 2-1 with 2:21 to go in the first. Really good play there from Edmonds as we try to get another look at that. Gutt trying to fight Young with it on the other side. Edmonds looking for a natty hattie. Instead, back in the other direction. Edmonds jamming at it right in the low slot. He didn't miss by much. Young brought down. No call on the plays. He nearly blew a tire. Trying to get it up to Caraco. Caccaro will steer it back the other direction. A lot of subs coming in here for the Hockey House podcast program. 3 on the night with Eric Coys, Brandon Young, and Brandon Caccaro. Reese on the other side, looking for a little bit of real estate. Taken away here. Not being able to clear it out of the zone was Hockey House. Reese trying to collect his own rebound. Poked away there by Russo. $1:33 to go in period number 1. BSB leads 2-1. Heggie trying to tie it. Looking for his first tally of the evening. Spins around over in the far circle. Back to Young at the point. Young tees one up and goes off of the skate there of DeFerris. It's taken back the other way by Trey Walker. He subsequently will turn it over to the 21 of Young. Young turns it over to Gutt. Gutt and Young trying to race after it. It pops back into the neutral zone. Across is Iacchini. Rather, that's LaCourte. Drops it back over for Dan Foley. The 2 William Patterson Pioneers generating a shot on net. And another save from Mac Alvino under a minute to go in the first. The Hockey House podcast has been knocking on the door over the last couple of minutes here, but it's BSB who leads 2-1 thanks to 2 straight goals from Gavin Edmonds. 50 seconds to play in the first period. Kramer will send this one back up here to Gavin Iacchini. Try to get it back over to Kramer. This one squirts out in front, and trying to race after it is McNulty. Here's McNulty, loads the gun up for Lipsy, but he was too far behind the play. Lipsy still with it, trying to steer around the defense, kicks it back to his tape. Shot it off of the twig there of Trey Walker, and Kramer will say enough of this and will clear it out. Rauch gives chase. Right behind him is Dan Foley. Alvino on the other way, 10 seconds to go in period number 1. BSB looking for one final gas here. Hockey House looking to tie. Nearly a breakaway right down Broadway for Iacchini. He's pickpocketed. Can't get the shot off in time. And an eventful opening period of play here tonight will result in a 2-1 advantage here for Breakout Sports Broadcasting. Shot 16-11 in favor of BSB. And we'll step aside here for a couple of moments as we bring you into the first intermission. Back here for period number 2 of tonight's lone matchup here between Breakout Sports Broadcasting and the Hockey House podcast, live exclusively on BSB. My name is Trey Wright, and Breakout Sports Broadcasting leads 2-1 over the Hockey House podcast. We have the lead in the shot category, 16-11, the 3-on-2 back the other direction. Trying to get on that one was the 9 of Steve Kappas. Sent it into the low slot, and steering that one away was HHP. Atrondo will pitch this one back into the opposite corner. Gavin Edmonds with both goals for BSB so far. Looking for a natty Hattie. He's got the puck on the tape right now. Gets it back up to Atrondo at the point. Back over to Edmonds. He takes aim and fires. Looks for another chance. 2 straight saves there from Hunter Galgani. It is not Michael Contessa in the cage. It is actually the William Patterson Pioneer, and HHP looking to tie the game up, and a good short side save by Mac Alvino to keep his team up by 1. So add another William Patterson Pioneer to the roster here in the Jersey Pro League. Seen so many Pioneers here on Breakout Sports Broadcasting, whether it be here in the JPL, playing lines of TCNJ, and just all over the place here. Not able to keep that one into the zone was Brandon Young, and this is steered away here by Kakaro. Kakaro plays for the Jersey Hitmen, also Quinnipiac's AAU program. Trying to steer that one away. Taken back up the near side, and tied up there was the 27 of Frascone. Russo will go back the other direction with it. Nearly ran into a couple of orange jerseys. Here's Kappas the other direction. Puts it on the stick for Otrondo. Back over to Edmonds. Takes aim. Galgani will make the save. Back the other way with it was Kakaro. We'll steer it up in the other direction and flipping it back over. Here's Coy with it. Coy puts a shot on. Edmonds nearly put it into his own net. Coy trying to get after it. Shot redirected away. That was Kakaro looking for his first point in the Jersey Pro League. Russo and Otrondo collide right at the point, and Russo was looking to go short side there on Alvino. Steered back the other direction here by DeFerris. Still on it once again was BSB, and they'll dump it into their own cage. Own end of the ice, I should say, is Otrondo trying to take that away from Coy. The Nittany Lion will scream up the near side. He's down center. 3-on-1 here for BSB. Shot initially saved. The rebounder came right back to Otrondo. He'll pocket it in. Really good insurance goal there from Michael Otrondo to make it a 3-1 contest, as we'll get the replay of that. It all started on the crashing play there from BSB, and it just immediately turned into a 3-on-1. Otrondo got the shot, initially saved there by Hunter Galgani, but goes right back over Otrondo, who's able to pocket in the rebound, and it's 3-1 BSB. Now Hockey House in a little bit of trouble, and another odd man rush for Breakout. Rouch tried to send it back over across to the 10 of McNulty. And HHP back the other direction with it. Brian Kramer will send it back out into the zone as the Blue Hen gets it over to the Panther of Forent. Back up to Young, who will dump it. HHP trying to give chase here. Rouch is back on it. Rouch trying to get it back over to McNulty, who nearly turned it over. Walker is able to kick it out in the neutral zone. That one took a funky bounce off of the skate of a Breakout player. And it's Reese on it. 2-on-3 for BSB. Waits for reinforcements. Gets it back to McNulty. McNulty collides there with Dan Foley. And now it's an odd man rush here for Hockey House. Back the other way with it. Here's Foran trying to get it over to Kramer, who's tied up in front. Redirection goes up into the netting as Kramer in the middle of that play once more. And he's not able to get it home. His team trailing by a pair. .11:35 to go in period number 2. BSB wins the draw, and Rouch will immediately dump it down the other side. Does it have the legs for an icing? It does not. Foran will collect it just below the red line. Foran will get past a pair of BSB skaters, skates it back the other way. Up to Dan Foley, back up to Foran. Foran waits for options. He's got 2 orange and blue jerseys right in his wheelhouse, and he'll turn it over in the offensive zone. Here's Walker right down Broadway. Time and space alone. He puts it in. What a dirty dangle there from Trayvon Walker. Triples the lead for BSB. Good night, Irene. Walker with the sick mitts. Absolutely sent Galgani's jockstrap into orbit as we get another look at it, and it's another breakaway opportunity. And goodness gracious, what a play there from Walker. Put it right on the backhand there. And makes it a 4-1 lead. 4 straight goals here from Breakout Sports Broadcasting. 2 from Edmonds, 1 from Otrando, is now Trey Walker will join the fray here. All of them have been unanswered, and HHP looking to respond. Coy will turn it over in the offensive zone as Heggie tries to race after it. Otrando looking for more. He'll start in his own end. Sends it across side to a BSB teammate, who sends it back to Otrando, and this one doesn't have the legs for an icing as it goes on net. Otrando crashing in, turns it over to Dan Foley once again. And forehand trying to go the other way. Sticks it all the way up, a 2-on-1 here. Coy on short side. That one saved by the pads there of Alvino to keep his team up by a trio. Forehand trying to get on it again. Instead, it's Gut down the near side. Drops it back over. Here's Evans looking for the wrist shot. High riser just goes a little too high. BSB remains the zone. Under 10 to go in period number 2. Breakout looking to make this a 4-goal advantage. Wheeling and dealing all the way around here is BSB. Trying to go all the way around once more was Frascone. The Wake Forest skater can only send it over the crossbar. Coy now just trying to get it out of here, but Frascone will keep it in on his own end of the ice. Frascone puts a wrister on net. Saved that time by Hunter Galgani for a stoppage with 9:29 to play. Biggest lead that BSB has had all season long so far, and they have equated the amount of goals that they have scored here in the 2025 season. Scored 4 against Synergy uniforms back on Tuesday evening. Synergy, unfortunately, for us here at Breakout Sports Broadcasting, scored 5 to take the win there. BSB looking to get the program's first win of the season here tonight against an HHP team that struggled a little bit offensively so far. Edmonds looking for the backhander and just shoots it to the left side of the cage. Keeping it in was Frascone, and he can't keep it in for long. Now nearly a breakaway opportunity is trying to keep that away from everybody was DeFerris. He gets it away from 3 different HHP skaters. Sick mitts there from DeFerris. Can he generate another goal for Breakout? Still keeping it away from a lot of blue and red jerseys. Still he was on it, gets it back over to Kappas. Kappas looking for Frascone right in the low slot. He fanned on it. Odd man rush here for HHP the other way. Brian Kramer with speed over on the far side. Trying to get it over to Gio Russo, who just missed over it. Otrando the other way. Gets it back over to Frascone, who lost it in his gear. Steering back with it, the 21 of Young. Young intercepted, but he gets it right back here. Delayed offside against HHP, however, and Breakout taking a little bit of a breath. Now Frascone will go the other direction with it. Frascone and Reese nearly colliding there as Reese down on the other side. Try to get it back over to Lipsy. Lipsy looking for a shot in front, no dice. Young steers around, sends it off of the half wall. Lipsy will keep it in at the circle, looking for a redirect off the stick of Reese. And Galgani will cover that one up. Galgani has been solid so far tonight and really hasn't had a whole lot of help from his teammates so far. He's had a lot of odd man rushes that he's had to face, and really nothing you can do about that. And just as we say that, that one trickles right through underneath the pad of Mac Alvino, and it's back to a 2-goal deficit here for the Hockey House. I believe that one will be going to Brandon Young. We'll get the official word on it shortly. But nonetheless, HHP able to stop the bleeding here and able to get back on the score sheet. So we take another look at the replay. Down over on the far side, and that will indeed be going to the 21 of Young for his first goal of the night. McNulty looking to respond and making a quick save off that snapshot there is Galgani. So it's a little bit newer of a contest here. Now only leading by 2 is BSB, and Walker trying to take that away there from look at Filicamo. However, it's Heggie back the other direction with it. Gets it back all the way up to Andreas Foran. Foran back over, looking for a shot there was HHP. Instead, it's steered aside, and here comes Gut the other direction with it. 2-on-1 for Breakout once again. Gut waits for options, sends it on himself, but just a little bit wide of the cage. Foran says thank you very much, gets it all the way up to Filicamo. Filicamo tried to get it onto the stick of Eric Coy, who couldn't corral the hot puck. Trying to get it back over here to Filicamo. Not able to keep that in, but Iacchini will keep it into the point. Looking for the redirect there was Coy. Instead, it goes back into the far corner. Past the midway point here in period number 2. Past the midway point in tonight's contest. 4-2 lead for Breakout Sports Broadcasting, but HHP has got the game's last goal. They're looking for a little bit more here. Trying to get it in that where was Filicamo. Still they're digging at it. It was loose, and it finally comes back out. Still into the zone. Foran keeps it in. Shot from long range, steered aside by the netminder. Gut trying to keep it away from Eric Heggie, but the Kings College native will put one in. He scores! What a snapshot there from both knees there for Eric Heggie. 2 straight for Hockey House. Will put them right back into the contest. It's 4-3. We get another look at that. Heggie just able to take Shane Gut to school right there and takes it all the way himself. Made that save. That shot, however, from one knee and is able to bring HHP right back into the fold. They only trail by 1. DeFerris trying to change that here. The man in 19 looking to go short side around, looking for the wraparound move there on Galgani. It's to no avail. DeFerris on it again. Has Kappas right in the center. Takes it himself. Misses wide. Rauch now with it. Spins away there from Russo. Nearly on there was BSB, and it'll just stay out. Hockey House now playing with a lot of momentum right now. LaCourte will take it across. Dumps it back over to Foley. Foley looking to go short side there on Alvino, and that goes wide. Foran back to Foley. Foley looking for options, try to get it over to Russo, who is looking for the tap-in play right in front. Foley still with it. Gets it back to Caccaro. Caccaro trying to dig after it. This comes back over to DeFerris, and he'll stick it all the way down out of harm's way. Russo with it. Gets it all the way up to LaCourte. And LaCourte just a tad bit offside, and we'll get a face-off from the neutral zone. .452 to go here in period number 2. It is a late one here. We appreciate everybody tuning in to tonight's coverage of the third and final night of the Jersey Pro League Club Divisions, week number 1. We'll get into the week 2 schedule later on in period number 3, but right now BSB just trying to get it into intermission. Got 4 goals in a row to make it 4-1, but the last 2 tallies coming for the Hockey House podcast. Trayvon Walker splits the entire defense, but lost the puck right behind him, and he wasn't able to keep it on. Wheeling and dealing back the other direction with it is Young. Young with a snapshot. That one went off of the twig of Walker and redirected high. Foran trying to lift it back over. Gets it all the way back over to Foley. Sends it back to Young at the point. Young looks for options. Puts one on net. Rebound came right over to Russo, and a point-blank save there from Alvino. Alvino has been called upon a lot so far in the second period, and he has been electric. DeFerris the other way. It's another odd man rush for BSB. Justin Rauch down low. Try to get it back over to DeFerris. Galgani. He made the initial save. He made it again. 2 saves there from Galgani will keep his team within striking distance. Back the other way with it is Foley. Foley brought down. He'll draw a penalty shot as Steven Kappas essentially had to take that penalty. It's a tripping call here against Breakout Sports Broadcasting, and a chance to tie the game here for HHP. It'll be Dan Foley will try to get the first penalty shot goal here of the night. HHP 1 for 1 or 0 for 1 so far. Foley starts on the near side, creeps up a little bit onto Alvino, and he missed wide. I believe that Alvino was able to get just a little piece of that. Just enough to where he was able to redirect it. The penalty shot's not really working for anybody so far over the last couple of nights. Will be an offensive zone draw, however, here for the Hockey House podcast, and quickly taking that away was Frascone. Right in front there was Heggie. He fanned on that shot. Forehand will send it up into the high netting and out of play. Kramer wins the draw, comes right back over to Iacchini. Looking back over with it in a one-time play there from Iacchini. Rather, that was Filacamo. He's able to get it on net. Kramer looking for the Spinorama move and trying to get it back all the way over. Aggie will take it all the way back over to Forehand. Forehand spins around one defenseman, can't get past another, is trying to get that one out with Frascone. Heggie not able to keep it in, but he'll keep possession with it. Delayed offside is negated. Kramer now has his pocket picked. Nearly a 3-on-2 for BSB, and they will. McNulty steers around the defenses, was looking for the backhander across. Missed the cage just by a little bit. Brian Kramer's got speed. The Blue Hen trying to get around the Scarlet Knight. He's not able to get around there. 2:30 to go here in the middle period. Hockey House looking to tie the game up at 4. Send that one off was Lacourt, and now a partial breakaway here for Frascone. Frascone on the 2-on-1 right into Galgani, and Forehand put it into his own cage for the goal. Frascone will bring the lead back up to 2 here for BSB. And that was just an unfortunate hockey play there, and nothing that Andreas Forehand could do. We'll get another look at that. Again, off of the rush here for BSB. It was a 2-on-1. Frascone put it on, and just trying to clear it out of there was Forehand. And with the momentum that he had, and he unfortunately redirected it into his own cage to bring the lead back up to a pair here for BSB. And now HHP's job just gets a little bit harder, and trying to negate that right in the low slot was Darren Lacourt, and he was about 2 inches away from bringing the deficit back to 1. Things move quickly here in the Jersey Pro League. And nearly negating that play there was Lacourt. Off the offensive zone draw, Lacourt puts another shot on. The chaos is cleared away from Alvino's office. Under 2 to go here in period number 2. Still on it is Coy. Coy puts a high riser over the crossbar. Loose change comes over to Russo. Russo turnaround chance denied there by Alvino. Coy on it again, waiting for options. He's got the 23 of Walker right behind him, and it's a scramble for the puck right behind Alvino's office. Puck finally comes free, gets over to Gavin Edmonds. Edmonds tied up there with Giovanni Russo. Still it is kept over in the corners. Russo trying to dig it away. Turns it over to Trayvon Walker. Trying to get all the flip pass all the way out. Corralled there by Caccaro. Caccaro in the corner was looking for Coy. Instead comes over to Russo. The initial save is made, and covering up his own rebound was Mac Alvino. That initial chance rebounded straight up into the air, and Alvino was able to read it and cover it up for a stoppage with 65 to go in the second. Face-off controlled by BSB. A little bit of contact between the two circles as Gutt will take it down the other side. Gutt waits for reinforcements. That comes in the form of Gavin Edmonds, who was tied up by Caccaro right in the low slot. Wasn't able to get anything on. Kramer will take it out of the near corner. Flips it up to Eric Heggie. Equal numbers the other way for the Hockey House. Heggie trying to get it around Justin Rauch. Finds it into Rauch's skates. Gets it back all the way up to the 23 of Kakaro. Under 30 seconds to go in period number 2. Foley waits for options. Young's not able to keep that into the zone. Delayed offside against Hockey House. Walker will backhand this one. This finds Shane Gutt, who tears down the far side. Gutt waits for options. Gets it back over to Edmonds. Edmonds around Galgani's office. Comes back over to Kappas. Kappas try to redirect that in over to Gutt. And Gutt's redirect will go into the glove of Galgani with 8 seconds to go in the second. Both goaltenders have been called upon a lot in this contest. Shots 26-32 so far in this game. Looking for a quick shot there was Edmonds, and just making the save there was Galgani with the glove. Looking for one final chance through traffic is Rauch, but wasn't able to get the buzzer beater off in time. Same song, second verse here for BSB. They lead 5-3 here. Going in the final 15 minutes of play, we'll step aside for a couple of moments here on Breakout Sports Broadcasting. Down, 15 to play here as we enter period number 3 of tonight's lone contest of night number 3 of the 2025 Jersey Pro League Club Division's opening week here at the RWJ Barnabas Health Hockey House on Breakout Sports Broadcasting. My name is Trey Wright, and our namesake's hockey program, BSB, up 5-3 over the Hockey House podcast, and a little bit of a battle of the brands here this evening. Both of these teams going into tonight with a record of 0-1. Take a look at the goal scorers so far in this contest. Andreas Forand has got a goal here for the Hockey House. Gavin Edmonds scored twice in a row, make it 3 times in a row officially on the score sheet. And then Trayvon Walker with a dirty goal there early in the second period to make it a 4-1 contest. 2 straight goals there from the Hockey House podcast, however, made it a 4-3 game. Those goals coming from Giovanni Russo and Eric Heggie, and Alex Frascone able to pot in an own goal there from Andreas Forand to give the lead and the score of what it is right now, 5-3 with 15 minutes to go. Face-off controlled by Breakout Sports Broadcasting, and Frascone will start, but he turns it over. Here's Heggie down the near side, looking for his second tally of the evening, trying to get it around Reese, turns it over, back away to Brian Kramer. Kramer is able to get the shot off. Frascone trying to dig at it once again. Spins away from Dan Foley. Foley now trying to take it away from him as well, and it's Reese who will streak up the near side. Colin Reese trying to light the lamp. Scarlet here for the 6th time tonight for BSB. We'll put one into the breadbasket of Hunter Galgani. Both goaltenders on either side playing in fill-in roles. Hunter Galgani filling in for Michael Contessa, and Mac Alvino filling in for Casey Connor. Both goaltenders have been tested quite a lot so far this evening, as Brian Kramer will stick it away. Kramer trying to get it back over. Falling down to one knee was a BSB skater. And now potential 2-on-1 for Breakout the other side. Frascone trying to get it over, but a good poke check right down the seam there from forehand. Gets it back over to Otrondo, and that one's redirected into the glass. Frascone on it again, trying to get it back over to Lipsy to no avail. Otrondo with it still, trying to find Frascone, who is crashing on the far side. Still BSB trying to stick with it. Reese steering that away from Foley. We'll take it behind Alvino's office, and he'll skate eastward with it. Frascone with it. Long stretch pass across. This is tipped in here by the 17 of Lipsy. He tries to fight the 23 of Kakara with it. Lipsy's still on it, looking for the backhanded pitch, and he didn't miss by much. Lipsy's still fighting with it. Falls down to one knee. That creates a little bit of space here for Eric Coy, who will take it down the other side. Coy is in. He's got some time and space. Fanned on the shot there. Alvino had no idea where it was, and a little bit of a broken play will result in BSB's favor. On the counterattack is McNulty. Gets it back over to Gut. Gut not able to make the initial handle. Track back with it, and that's poked out of there by Brandon Young. Walker on it again. 12:47 to go in period number 3. 5-3, BSB leads. Walker looking for his second tally. Turns it over to Young. Young trying to get out of harm's way. Gets it up to Coys. Coy gets it all the way up here. That's taken by the 12 of Filicamo. Filicamo with it. Gets it back over to Young. Young not able to make the initial grab there. And we'll stick it over to Kakaro. Kakaro will loft it the other way. And this will be called icing against Hockey House. They'll have a defensive zone draw here. Still in the early stages of period number 3. Tonight we'll wrap up week number 1 of the Jersey Pro League Club Division. Let's take a look at the schedule for week number 2. We'll start off early here this week on the first day of the week on Sunday, June 8th. That clap bomb from long range, not collected initially by Galgani. Rebound came over to Gut. Not able to get the trigger off there. Was anybody from Breakout? Somehow that stayed out. Rouch not able to keep that one into the zone, and he'll track back for it. Alvino coming way out of his crease to play that one out. Nearly got burned there by Filicamo. Instead, this is McNulty trying to take it back the other direction. And BSB not able to get away with a very borderline delayed offside, much to the chagrin of the Breakout Sports Broadcasting bench. It'll be a face-off here, right in front of the Hockey House podcast bench. Like we said, week number 2 will start Sunday evening at 5 p.m. as Synergy Uniforms will take on Breakout Sports Broadcasting. BSB playing in their 3rd game in the last couple of days here. They'll take on Synergy. And later on that evening, Capper Hockey Services will take on Mr. Lemon Stick Wax. Both of those teams 1-0 to start 2025. Fight for it all the way over in the far corner is won there by Kakaro, and he turns it over to Gut. Gut with wide open space in front, gets it onto the tape of McNulty. He makes a couple of nifty moves. The rebound came right back over to Gut, and he's not able to pull the trigger. McNulty's got the sick mitts, but that was in vain. Now Foran back the other direction, his team trailing by 2. Trying to come back over with it is the Hockey House podcast. Heggie barely keeps it in at the blue line, turns it over to Rouch on the far side. Rouch all the way over, corralled by Kappas. Kappas immediately has that one taken away there by LaCourte. And he's tied up over by the Citizens Bank logo. Looking for Gut on the redirect, and he's not able to pull the trigger again. Walker keeps it in at the blue line, and Kappas didn't know where the puck was, and that's going to set up an odd man rush here for Eric Heggie. Heggie waits for reinforcements, but tied up in the low slot, and that one just trickled wide. Foran not able to get that one, and there's taken back here by Lipsy. Lipsy off for Emmons, and he makes A couple of really good shots there, but none going past Hunter Galgani. Back and forth we go here. Hockey House trailing by 2 and a 3-on-2 the other way. Kramer looks at a cross, getting it over. What a save from Alvino. He didn't know where the rebound went. Fortunately, it steered out of harm's way. We continue to go back and forth. DeFerris sends it across. Good block in front there from Andreas Forand. And Forand will take it back here. Forand's getting away from a couple of orange and blue jerseys. Gets it up to Kramer. Puts one into the glove of Alvino. What a slick save there from Mac Alvino. Absolutely robbed Brian Kramer blind. If you remember one of last year's games, Brian Kramer had a hat trick against Breakout Sports Broadcasting when he played for Synergy. And that time he got robbed by the BSB netminder. Kramer, top of the HHP board in terms of points here with 3 goals on the season. It's been kept off of the score sheet so far tonight. Was very close to getting it there. Hockey House still with offensive zone time as Kramer's not able to get the possession of that puck. Lipsy all the way over it. Edmonds skating down through center. Transitions to the near side, drops it back over to DeFerris. 8:50 to go in period number 3. BSB trying to put this game out of reach. Filicamo trying to take that one away, and it squirts back out in the neutral zone. Nearly a one-on-one opportunity as Forand try to take that away. Instead, this will come back over to DeFerris. Otrando's got it. He'll pitch it back into his own zone. Frascone is on it. Trying to wheel and deal the other way is the 19 of DeFerris. Gets it over to Edmonds, back over to DeFerris. DeFerris trying to keep his away from his University of Delaware teammate, Brian Kramer. Kramer trying to take it away from the ACHA. Sick moves there from DeFerris. Sends it back over to Otrando. Puts one on short side. Saved there by Galgani. Back the other way we go. Sick moves there from the 13 of Iacchini, and he sends that high riser over the crossbar. Iacchini still trying to dig after it. He's got possession. Plays it back over to Young. Puts one through traffic. Kramer's not able to redirect it home. Foley backhands it back into the zone. Kramer crashing in. Both he and the 19 of DeFerris collide. Kept in by Caccaro. Caccaro puts one on to Alvino. Rebound comes right back to him. Trying to put one back on here, and they score. Wasn't sure if that redirected off of Kramer or potentially the 12 of Filicamo, but nonetheless, it's back to a 1-goal deficit here for the Hockey House podcast. So we get another look, and that all started with Caccaro keeping that one in at the point. And the rebound comes to a pair of skaters, and I believe that might be going to Brian Kramer for his first tally of the evening. Keeps his team right back into the contest with 7:19 to go in period number 3. This game's still far from over. Coy was tied up right in the low slot. Could have had the equalizer there. Walker on the other way. Try to get it back up to McNulty, who was tied up with Caccaro. McNulty giving chase after it with Brandon Young. Young sticks it up to Darren LaCourte down the far side. LaCourte is able to get it over to Eric Heggie. Heggie looking for his second goal of the evening, gets it back over to LaCourte. LaCourte back over to Heggie. Heggie waits for options, gets it back over to Coy. Coy will turn it over in the offensive zone, but kept in there by Caccaro. Caccaro back over to LaCourte. That one nearly skipped through the legs there of Alvino, but he's able to keep it out here to keep his team up by a goal. Sick moves from Heggie, gets it over to Young, and he'll see that puck redirected away. Coy with it right behind the office. Up back to the top there for Young. Puts one through traffic right into the midsection of Alvino. He'll cover up for a stoppage. And that one actually going to Luca Filicamo. Filicamo will get that goal there. The assist coming from Brian Kramer. And that secondary assist should absolutely be there for Brandon Kakaro, who's able to keep that one in. Shane Gutt in the offensive zone in the middle of no man's land, held there by Brandon Young. Young and Gutt coming together, squirts back over to Brandon Kakaro. Gutt and Young were still together way behind the play as Coy blew a tire. Still sets it up for Eric Heggie. Heggie puts one on, sticked away there by Alvino. Still fighting for it in the corner was Heggie. Taking it all the way back out here is Breakout Sports Broadcasting, and Coy's not able to keep it in. Justin Rauch over on the far side. Rather, that's Shane Gutt in 25. Gutt waits for reinforcements. Has Kappas driving the zone. Gutt will elect to keep it. Gets it back over to Lipsy, who turns it over to Kakaro. Kakaro all the way down here to Walker, who will track back away from it. He and Russo trying to fight for the vulcanized rubber. Walker will win that battle. Stretch pass all the way over, intended for Frascone. Instead, this is into the opposite corner, where Forehand will collect it. Forehand all the way up here to Iacchini. Iacchini down the far side, looking for the equalizer. Gets it back over to Heggie. 5 minutes to go in period number 3. This game still far from over. BSB trying to hold on here. They're up 5-4. Hockey House trying not to go down 0-2 to start the 2025 season. Andreas Forehand looking for it. Forehand will get it back all the way over to Iacchini. Shot at the point, nearly redirected in there, but instead it's into the opposite corner. Iacchini gives chase, he and Walker colliding. Fight all the way at the boards, Giovanni Russo pinning a BSB skater all the way into the corner. Coming back out with it, but no, it's still kept in there by Filicamo. Filicamo up for Forehand, rockets one home, he scores! We're tied at 5 on a blast there from Andreas Forehand, his second tally of the night. We get a good look there. Andreas Forehand going back to the bench. We'll get a look at the replay. That battle in the corner resulting in a lot of chaos. It was just barely kept in there by the Hockey House. Forehand with a ton of time and space right in the mid slot. Sends the bottle all the way to orbit. For a 5-5 game with under 5 to go. 4:12 to go in period number 3, in fact. And it is a brand new hockey game. As Maxine Nightingale once said, we're right back to where we started from. Kappas trying to give Breakout the lead right back. It has been a back and forth contest all throughout tonight. HHP looking for their first lead since the first goal of the game from Andres Forehand. Right now has got things bookended. Foley in the corner, fights off Frascone. Frascone trying to take it away. He will do so in time, sends it back over to Kappas. Kappas all the way up to Edmonds, and here comes Breakout down on the far side. What a save there from Galgani. Still it is loose and playing goaltender, deflecting it out was Gio Russo. Galgani is going to owe his William Patterson teammate a steak dinner after making that save to keep the game tied at 5. Filicamo trying to grace after it once again. That was DeFerris who was stonewalled on that chance. Filicamo on it once again. Steers it back over, gets it up to Brian Kramer. Kramer plays it across. Trying to get there was LaCourte, and that's steered aside. That one taken away. Here's McNulty on a 2-on-1. McNulty sends it across. That one goes off the skate of Colin Reese and covered up by Galgani with under 3 to play. Five goals each here between these two programs, and BSB had 4 of those goals in a row. But now we're tied at 5 as HHP has slowly but surely got back into the contest. 4 goals on a couple of really good chances there on the other side, and Young will start from his own end. Brandon Young, called as a substitute, will fall down. A collision there with Steve Kappas. No call on the play. Young is slow to get back up. Comes back over to Eric Coy. Coy gets it back over to Brandon Kakaro. Kakaro back over to Coy. Coy's trying to take that away from LaCourte. Same team there, guys. Coy gets it back over to Kramer. Kramer, top of the zone. Nobody was home in the mid-slot. And now a foot race all the way back for it. Galgani will say enough of the foot race. He'll clear it out. Nearly all the way there was Frascone, and he'll chase away from it. Guts got it on the tape. Over in the corner, puts it back over. Trying to trace after it is Frascone, but taking it away will be Caccaro. Caccaro trying to get up to LaCourte. LaCourte nearly pickpocketed there as the 227s collide. Trying to get there is McNulty, not able to get a handle on it, and Coy will steer it out of harm's way. 90 seconds to go in period number 3. It's a tie game at 5. Coy looking for an opportunity over in the corner. Steering it all the way over is Coy. Will turn it over to Kappas. Kappas will get it up to Michael Otrondo, who will streak down the near side. The Nittany Lion trying to give the lead right back to Breakout, turns it over to Darren LaCourte. LaCourte up to Eric Heggie, 65 to go in the contest. Trying to swat that one out of there was Kappas, and he will get it all the way over to Justin Rauch, who will drive it back over to Kappas. Kappas and a 3-on-2 the other way, and now a 1-on-2, one-man mission. Back over to Justin Rauch, was going 5-hole on Galgani, who covers it up. 48 to play in period number 3. We do have overtime if necessary. With the shots being fairly even. 38 to 49 the shot ratio right now. And just under a minute to play here in period number 3. Iacchini trying to dig that one back out. Sent back over on the other side, tracing after it is a 16 of Edmonds. Edmonds in the corner, back over to Kappas. Gets it over to Justin Rauch, back over to Kappas. 30 to play in regulation. Steering it out there was Iacchini. Iacchini trying to steer it out once again, comes back over to Trayvon Walker. Walker in his own end, trying to keep it away from Giovanni Russo. Up to Gavin Edmonds it goes. Edmonds with 12 to play in regulation. Looking for a buzzer beater right at the end of this one. 7 seconds to go in regulation. Pad save there from Galgani. Comes right back over to Walker. Walker with 1 second to go, not able to get a shot off in time. And for the first time this season, we will have overtime here. Tied at 5 goals apiece here. After regulation, we will have 3-on-3 overtime. Only 3 minutes will go on the clock here. Both teams will pause for a brief moment. We'll pause as well. We'll be back in just a moment. So it sounds like we're going to go into a straight shootout instead of the 3-on-3 overtime. Will be an new official overtime rules here for 2025 for the club division of the Jersey Pro League. Both goaltenders will be tested here, and in all 3 penalty shot attempts we have seen so far tonight, no team has been able to test the goaltenders on the mano-a-mano opportunity, or rather able to solve the goaltenders on the one-on-one opportunity. Jacob DeFerris will be the first skater to come out here for Breakout Sports Broadcasting. The University of Delaware skater will be the first one to try to fire a salvo past the William Patterson goaltender of Hunter Galgani. DeFerris starts off at mid-speed, streaks down right down the Broadway, and a beautiful save there from Hunter Galgani will start things off in the right direction here for the Hockey House. Giovanni Russo will be next. Yet another William Patterson player playing in the Jersey Pro League will be the first skater here for HHP. Russo versus Alvino. Russo will start off with a wide stance, goes back in and just sent it off of the iron. Russo had the entire right side of the net open. He was able to get it past Alvino, but was not able to get it past the side iron. 0-0 here for both teams. Brings up Justin Rauch, graduated from Ryder last year. Looking to have a little bit more in the tank, and he scores! Sick mitts there from Justin Rauch. Draws the first blood here in the shootout. Rauch able to score. Now the pressure is on Eric Heggie. Heggie over on the far side. Will start on the near side, however, comes back in. Alvino playing way out open. He makes the save. Alvino with 2 saves so far, and Ricky Lipsy can end it here in the shootout with a goal. Lipsy playing for the University of Michigan, ACHA Division III program. The Wolverine trying to get it underneath the Pioneer. He'll start in very hot. In on to Galgani, and Galgani makes a crucial save. So it all comes down to Andreas Foran. He's got 2 goals already tonight. Can he look for the proverbial hat trick to keep his team alive in the shootout? Foran will start off with it. Starts right down the center. Alvino playing on. Foran trying to get it through. Alvino, he's able to snooker it in. We keep going. Foran got it right through the midsection there, right between the 5-hole there of Alvino. We'll go into round 4, starting off with Colin Reese. Reese will start off with it. Goes up, goes to the forehand, and off of the pads there of Galgani. Galgani with another stop, and all comes down to Luca Filicamo. Filicamo wearing the number 12 of Brian Cole, who couldn't be here tonight. Filicamo trying to win the game here for William Patterson. Right into Alvino, was looking for a beautiful move. Alvino read it like a children's book. On to round 5 we go. It's already a little bit of a late night here in Newark, New Jersey. We'll add a little bit onto it. Here for round 5, Gavin Edmonds. 3 goals for BSB so far tonight, trying to get number 4 here. On to Galgani, and he scores! Look to go on the right-hand side of Galgani, who took the bait and took him all the way over and snookered one right beneath the midsection. Now the pressure is back onto the hockey house. Dan Foley needs to score to keep the shootout going. Alvino with the save would give BSB their first win of the season. Foley into Alvino. Alvino makes the stop. He gets the win, and BSB will hold on for a 6-5 win here in the shootout. Mac Alvino, in his first official game in about 4 years, the Glen Rock, New Jersey native wins it in the shootout here. And finally, things will save as we'll get another look at that potentially. So we get a look at the game-winning goal here from Gavin Edmonds. Edmonds was able to get it underneath of Galgani for a sick goal, and able to finish it off there was Mac Alvino to give Breakout Sports Broadcasting their first win of 2025. 6-5 is your final. And what a way to wrap up week number 1 here of the Jersey Pro League. BSB will go to 1-1 on the season. The Hockey House podcast will fall down to 0-2. And, well, we are officially underway here. It's week number 1 of the Jersey Pro League is in the books here. From the RWJ Barnabas Health Hockey House, as we'll take a preview real quick of Sunday's 2 games. Synergy Uniforms will take on Breakout Sports Broadcasting. Puck drop will be at 5 Eastern. A little bit of a late matinee matchup here at the Hockey House in Newark, New Jersey, and then later on at 6:30 Eastern, Capper Hockey Services will take on Mr. Lemon Stick Wax. A battle to see which of those teams will go 2-0 and which one will go 1-1, and then we'll be off and running here for week number 2, which will include the club division, or the pro division, I should say, making its debut here on the 10th with Top Line Hockey taking on the Team Goose Foundation. But that is then. This is now, on behalf of everybody here for the Jersey Pro League and for Breakout Sports Broadcasting, for our videographer, Corolla Pascal, and for our technical producer, Colton Reynolds. My name is Trey Wright. 6-5 is your final. BSB moves to 1-1 on the season, and we will see you, ladies and gentlemen, Sunday afternoon here at 5 o'clock Eastern, right here at the RWJ Barnabas Health Hockey House in Newark, New Jersey. Thank you all so much for tuning in to tonight's broadcast of the Jersey Pro League Club Division, exclusively on